This is the Nightwolf howling at you, and today we're going to take a look at the Masters of the Universe Chronicles Skeletor figure, the evil Lord of Destruction, part of the 2026 movie collection, played by Jared Leto. This may be the one time that I see a movie with Jared Leto in it where I don't hate his character. I hope. Anyway, we see here also it's got that deluxe articulation marking like we had on Battle Cat. And we had it on He-Man, but I don't think I mentioned it in that review, which is interesting because they removed one bit of articulation from the Masterverse line, basically, and added additional articulation that was not previously in the Masterverse line. So they swapped something, and honestly, it seems like it was a dumb thing to do. They should have just kept in the thigh swivel. I'm just going to say that. Also, if you notice, on the boxes for the bad guys, we have the bad guys shown with their imagery on the left side of the boxes compared to the good guys who had it on the right side of the box. So if we look here, we just see Skeletor versus He-Man. Now, if we had a different villain, the villain would be over here and it'd still be He-Man. And just like if we had a different good guy, it would be the good guy here and Skeletor. I am not a fan of the box art for this one. I think it's kind of lame. I do like that, again, that they show the collector, though, but at the same time, this kind of sucks. I'm not a fan of this. I liked it better when they showed nice artwork of the figures. In front of the box, pretty standard. On the side, we just see some more artwork of Skeletor getting ready to attack. That's better than just seeing that there, although it is probably the same pose. And then on the back, we get product shots. Skeletor, the evil Lord of Destruction. Skeletor terrorizes all of Eternia in his search for the Power Sword, the key to unlocking the secrets of Casual Grayskull. The evil sorcerer will stop at nothing to claim the sword and conquer the universe. You know, actually, I got really excited when I saw this box because so far the other wave was 3 figures. This one, however, apparently is just Skeletor and Trapjaw. Which, by the way, they did not have Trapjaw. They only had Skeletor when I found this because I probably would have also picked up Trapjaw. Or I might have picked up Trapjaw instead. I'm not sure. But, you know, I figure I needed He-Man and Skeletor. Don't know if I'm going to be buying too many other figures for this. Well, okay, I'll for sure get the Tila, but after that, I'm not sure about anybody else. But let's open them up. Okay, this is nice. I like that we're seeing Stink Mountain in the background of this one instead of Castle Grayskull. I am definitely going to have to see if I can salvage this for the backgrounds for those ones. Also, we have what it shows on the side here. And unlike in Masterverse where they were putting extra items inside the box here, they're actually just being molded into the plastic. Like so. Oh, that's f***ing unreal. Seriously. I thought this was going to be a cloth cape. This is more of that rubber shit. God damn it. Oh, I can't even get him to stand on the pegs. So we hold him up here for the moment. Ooh, hey, his jaw is articulated, by the way. That's cool. I appreciate that. Stay. All right, so in this case, Skeletor comes with 1 punching hand and 1 magic hand. All right. This I might use or I might not. Although considering that I think most of the time when we see Skeletor, he looks like he's right-handed, this probably would have been better for the left hand. But I haven't seen the movie yet, so maybe Jared Leto is left-handed and uses his right hand for magic and his left hand for staff holding, which this is the new Havoc staff here. I don't like it. The concept is nice, but I don't like the follow through here. I don't know. Something about this bend like this just annoys me and I don't like it. It is again designed to look more like an actual real skull instead of whatever the hell we got with the original Skeletor back in the day. There are eyes in it though, and they are blue. They're probably like, I'm sure in the movie there'll be gems or whatever, and they'll probably glow or whatever when he uses magic. And we do have the spinal column here, part of it, so that's kind of cool. At least I assume that's what that's supposed to be. But again, I just don't like the way this curves like this. I think that looks kind of dorky. But it is a more interesting looking staff, I will admit, to what we've gotten in the past. Also, it looks like you could poke somebody's eye out with the tip of it. Ow! Ooh, shit. Stabbed my hand with that. He holds the staff really tightly. Like, ridiculously tight, okay? And since there are, like, little grooves in here, it's almost like a ratchet in his hand. So overall, though, the design of this figure looks pretty good. Now, I'm going to straight up say I'm not a big fan of the way they designed the harness on Skeletor here, mostly because there's nothing to hold it around him. So is this supposed to be part of his body or part of his clothing? So that's one issue with this design. It really, like, to a certain extent, when you looked at Skeletor's old design, it kind of resembled a bat in the front, which later on kind of, I think, is why they gave him the connection to Hordak the way they did in the cartoon series. But there's like none of the traditional design here. In fact, at best, it almost looks like there's spider webs on the harness design here. And then we've got that little gem in the middle. So yeah, they did not design him to look at all like he has the old-fashioned harness. As mentioned before, the cape is rubber and not and not actually cloth. And his harness does not come off. That is embedded in his body, which makes sense, I guess, since that wouldn't hold on there very well. Skirt piece appears to be attached to his diaper. We do have kind of a ram design here and some snakes, which is kind of interesting because I wouldn't expect Skeletor to have a lot of snake motif going on. They did whitewash his body to bring out the details in the design, and it actually looks pretty good. Like, it definitely is interesting, and I think it's the same color paint as what they used on his fingernails, which are painted pretty horribly. I don't mean horribly in a good way. I mean horribly in a bad way. I like the new boot designs here, too. Like, I will say this. Skeletor is much more interesting looking than the He-Man was, okay? The boots are a lot cooler looking. They've got more detail on them. The skirt has more detail on it. Like, the back of the skirt piece even bumps out for his ass. Like, that's kind of cool. Oh, man. What is that? In the old Flintstones movie, they talked about the dirt ring around collars, and I think it was Betty said, yeah, she takes care of it by washing Barney's neck. That's what this kind of reminds me of. I know it's painted black specifically because of the articulated jaw. So that way, when you do have the jaw open, it's just showing black and not the blue of his skin. But that is funny. Like, it is funny, right? Skeletor's head. His hood does extend further down the back. I didn't really talk about that when it was on him. But yeah, so it melds into the cloak a little bit better. I still would have liked this to have actually been real cloth, because this is going to be really awkward if you have him sit on anything. Stuff like that, I think, is what they never think about with these figures. Especially when you consider that Skeletor probably will be riding something in the movie, I'm sure. But as mentioned, again, the jaw is articulated, which is a nice little additional feature. The pupils of his eyes are painted red with black irises. Or is it? Wait. Yeah, those are the pupils in the iris, right? Yeah. I do think maybe they should have used like a metallic red paint in there. I'm not even sure if you can even see it very well. But maybe if they used a metallic red that was shiny, it would reflect the light a bit, and that would really stand out more. Because like most of the time, it's hard to see that red in here, even when I'm moving his head around myself to look at it in person. So I'm be amazed if I got it in the frame there. So as far as articulation goes, his head is on a ball joint. His neck is on a separate ball joint. He can really do the giggity, giggity, giggity thing. Giggity, giggity, giggity. And again, like I said, when you open his mouth, that black part there is just to hide like the back, right? To make it look darker, deeper, whatever. We can turn the head actually pretty far around. Surprisingly, not much interferes with that, although these could get caught on his harness. We have a butterfly joint. The butterfly joint works right and left and up and down a little bit. The arm does hinge up and can spin. Ooh, I just whacked him in the head with his staff. The harness bit is not really getting in the way of the articulation too much. You can get all the way around still. And you can hinge them out like that. We still have a bicep cut here. We have a double jointed elbow, although it does not close all the way up. And his gauntlet, his gauntlet still looks like it's got like a spiderweb design to it. We have a boob cut. It spins around. It's a ball joint, it looks like, so we can get a little wobble there. Kind of lean that way, front and back. Turn, turn, turn. We have that same kind of joint there at the waist. Wiggle wobble. So he can really go all over the place. Huh. We can have him do some sexy poses, maybe. Actually, they've been using the Skeletor to do weird... Have you guys noticed that on the Masters like Instagram feed, they've been using the Skeletor to do like meme stuff, and they keep getting the ending of the meme wrong? Good lord, why? Seriously. Move his feet from there so we can do the leg articulation. We can hinge out like this, almost doing the splits. We can hinge forward. We can move forward and back like that. Actually, that's a pretty good spread going on there, considering most Masterverse figures don't go that far. Let's see. We do, in fact, have drop-down hips on him. Again, no thigh cut. Double joint at the knee. Good. Boot cut. Also good. Hinge at the foot. Again, we got those ball joints. Like we have... Oh, I didn't talk about the wrists. But we do have that ball joint there, so we can go up and down. We can spin it around. And if we wanted to, we could slide it so that the foot and the ball joint aren't lining up properly, and that's a pain in the ass to deal with. But also, the wrists have a spin in them, and then depending upon how you set the joint, you could either get up or down or right to left articulation. Speaking of which, his gauntlet comes off, and he still has the same thin S forearm as He-Man had. Not a surprise, because they do share basically the same body design. Which is probably going to be true of all of the figures in this line. But yeah, the kind of ball joint in the middle with the two pegs there is the reason why you can change the direction of the articulation if you want. Though, so far, like it's been with a lot of these figures, the articulation doesn't do as much as you'd like it to. So I guess overall in the Skeletor, the figure actually does look pretty good. I'm not going to lie. I do like the look of this figure. I greatly appreciate that the jaw is articulated and you can move it up and down and you can have it either opened or closed, however you want it. It was a good thing that they put that little black bar on the neck to help make it look a little deeper in there, like you're looking to a black void. Some of the improvements, though, like I said, is going to be if they'd used like a metallic red to paint the eyes. And if they'd given us a cloth cape, because that cape sucks balls. And aside from my earlier comment about the design for the harness not making a whole lot of sense, the overall look on this Skeletor is good. Though, to improve that harness, I think I would have extended the triangle part a little further. Gone ahead and put the little bones on the bottom of it and then had the straps going underneath his arms so that it looked like it's actually a piece of clothing and not embedded in his body, because that just looks weird. But that's the design they went for, so that's what we got. And for that design, he looks good. I'd like to have seen the neck of the staff done a little bit different, but that's probably like that in the movie. And apparently you can buy a prop replica through Mattel of this staff. And I'm sure Factory Entertainment will do some version of it as well, since they've done other Masters of the Universe items, but it'll be ridiculously expensive and probably not worth the money. But once again, I am recording this review before I see the movie, which hopefully with any luck, I will be seeing it in exactly 1 week from when I am recording this. But why don't you guys let me know what you think about this figure in the comments below and what you thought of the character in the movie, if you saw it. Hopefully you did. Some people are predicting that it might actually end up being a sleeper hit, so that would be kind of nice. I do want the Masters of the Universe movie to do well. I want to see some sequels. Okay, I am saying I want to see some sequels, but I haven't seen the actual movie yet, so if it does suck balls, I don't want to see sequels. I want to see a reboot. But it's whatever ends up happening, right? But if you did enjoy this review, please feel free to havoc that like button. If you want to hear more of my nonsense in the future, you can subscribe. Perhaps you'd like to poke at that notification bell. I thank you for watching. Peace and love. Just an added bonus here. So far, all the speaking lines I've heard of Jared Leto as Skeletor have been generally fine. I do not have a problem with the voice I've heard thus far. So hopefully, Skeletor will be a great villain in this movie.